Sports Goombas radio website, podcast, whatever you want to call it. This is Sports Goombas webcast. I'm Cashy the King. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. Mikey the Wall. He's here. Mikey's going to have we're going to have the Godfather quiz coming in from soon. We got Victor Yorkie yelling in the background. Slap her around a little bit. She's been real radical today. I fed her good, but didn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is Sports Goombas website, webcast website. What do you call it?
It's everything.
It's everything, yeah. You know, whatever you're going to call it like that. Sports Goombas is brought to you by Apple Public Adjusters. When you have an insurance case at your house, fire and water damage, call Apple Public Adjusters. They will get you paid maximum payment for your insurance claim. Also, Seal Roofing. Give Seal a call, 215-533-4067. If it's a roof you need, Seal Roofing is the company you should call. Also, M. Resnick Plumbing, 267-991-0337. That's M. Resnick Plumbing, the best plumber in the Delaware Valley, bar none. Give us a call on the Sports Goombas smoke phone, 267-563-2893. 267-563-2893 is the Sports Goombas smoke phone. We don't answer, leave a message. Maybe we'll play your beef or your rant or your question at the end of the show. All right, boys, let's get right to it. I was going to start with the Eagles. There's a lot of things going on. Eagles, we got Manziel, but I want to talk about Odell. Okay, Odell, and we're going to say Odell and the catch. We'll call it like that, the catch. It's funny. I'm sitting there during one of the games, and I'm on Facebook, and there's a video comes on. There's a reporter in the background. You can see Odell catching all kinds of balls, with these one-handed grabs, jumping up in the air. It's almost like, they were laying him up there from practicing stuff. And then you see this in the freaking game, and I'm like, I was stunned because I knew he was doing that in practice. And here it is in the game. You can't plan that, right?
Mike, you were saying that who practices for that? Who practiced for those catches? Obviously, somebody does.
The average person shouldn't practice for that. I guess maybe you should, because obviously it came in and it's the reason they, got that touchdown, but off that amazing catch that you'd think the average person wouldn't be practicing.
Yeah, well, I got questions about I'm looking at what he wears on his hands, those mitts. I mean, come on, what is that? They look like it's a little bigger than a glove. I mean, what's it up close? You see how he caught it like with two little fingers, three fingers in the back, and I'm looking at it, it's like, well, first of all, the catch was great. I mean, he got hit. Okay, regardless if he had stickum or whatever's on them gloves to make it happen, it was a great catch. Regardless, even if he had a prop or whatever, it's just so ironic that you see him do that in pregame warm-ups, and then he comes and does that on the field.
And they showed it like in perfect timing. Like they were showing like his practicing, and they said it wasn't more than a minute or two later he made that catch. As me and people I was sitting there watching the game, but they're saying like, "Oh wow, why are you practicing? What are you doing this?" Right on cue, he makes that exact catch, and I'm like, "Oh, well, he shut me up."
Yeah, so now it's like the greatest catch in sports history or whatever, or maybe in all the sports if you think about it. For the most part, So,
I was all over Twitter during the thing, and it was blowing up.
I'm trying to think what rivals that catch. I mean, the Giants have had a lot of them. I mean, the 2 Super Bowl catches, right? And David Tyree won, but David Tyree was almost like he caught the ball and didn't even know he caught the ball.
Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was amazing. I can't even think of who caught it, but I just remembered.
Santana.
The recent one.
The recent one.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger.
That was Holmes.
Holmes. Yeah,
Santonio Holmes. That's it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So
for the win with like.
Yeah.
I thought that was that came to mind.
I think that Randy Moss catch like the 10 years when he was in the Vikings.
Right.
Like, it was like one. I think like maybe his rookie or second year.
He had a lot of them. He had a lot of catches. Randy
where he
Moss.
the ball just fell on him while he was down, and yeah.
It's a highlight for the Giants for the year. That's for sure. If there's nothing else they can actually even talk about in New York as far as football is concerned, neither teams. I mean, the Jets are playing right now against Buffalo. Nobody cares.
They're getting killed.
Yeah, the snow is the best thing that could have happened to them because it took all the eyes off the Jets. Nobody's watching them. And, if Rex Ryan makes it Well, he's going to make it. I mean, they had stuff on and I was reading some websites out. Should Rex Ryan come back or not? Yeah, sure. Let him come back. He's done a wonderful job for the Jets. Sign him to another 4 years and move on. I mean, what kind of question? That's coming from some of the top guys in the New York press writing that stuff. I mean, it's almost like they want him to stay because it's good press. Because the Jets aren't winning anyway. They won't win.
They want to sell papers, so you throw out the most controversial stuff out there.
I don't think that's paper selling. I think it's story making. But forget papers. There's no more papers left anywhere to sell anyway. Yeah. But the Jet travesty over there with the ownership. Well, the ownership's still fine. It's the general manager and the coach himself. I mean, when you're putting together that kind of crap for the last 3 or 4 years, and then they see Sanchez doing what he's doing in Philly, they're wondering if they made a mistake. I mean, not that Sanchez had a great game yesterday. For the most part, he did what he's supposed to do. He managed the football game. I mean, he wasn't why. I don't believe he's the why the Eagles won yesterday. Once again, their defense and special teams started that game. When you start your game with a kick return, that's all the energy your team needs for the most part.
The point is, he survived. Sanchez survived the football game.
I didn't see it. He survived yesterday?
Yeah, I don't see anything spectacular, anything to get excited about.
Well,
I'm kind of like tuning out the Eagles now because if you plan out the rest of the season, and let's just say they win, there's really nothing to look forward to. Because when the
playoffs, look forward to that.
No, I don't. Why? Because they're going to get embarrassed in the playoffs.
By who?
By whoever they play in the first round. They're going to get embarrassed.
The Eagles are getting embarrassed.
Yeah.
What made you say that?
Yeah.
Because I've seen. And why is it okay? I'll give you a big indicator. Why isn't this town acting like it's 8-3? They're not,
because it's Philadelphia. We'll act like
we're negative.
No. It's not that. We'll act when the Super Bowl trophy's lifted over somebody's head in this town. That's when this city will be satisfied.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about optimism.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're saying why are they why isn't Philly acting like it's a 9-3, 8-3 team or whatever? The point being is that doesn't matter anymore. Getting to the playoffs, winning for a round, what matters to this town when it comes to football is the freaking Super Bowl. That's it. There's no second best in this town anymore. It's been too long. Okay, it's been too many shots. So when you see why isn't this town excited about 8-3, because the NFL really hasn't told us who's the better team anymore.
We've seen 8-3 before.
Yeah, and it's 8-3. 8-3 is going to end up being 10-5, 11-4, or 11-5. So I mean, they're going to lose. Probably going to lose two.
You're enthusiastic about the playoffs. I mean, you don't.
Because outside of traveling to Green Bay, who do you think we can't beat?
Yeah, that's it.
Who can't we beat?
Really, with both those quarterbacks.
I'm not saying we would be favored against any team. But who can we physically not beat?
Beating anybody. I mean, if you're telling me I really am not excited about either quarterback. I see Sanchez. Well, has he made mistakes that hurt us? No.
This team isn't about the quarterback right now. It's about the weapons they have. It's the ability to get the ball to your running back or Sproles or your wide receivers. You got a rookie wide receiver who's now become a big target for any quarterback. Right now, I don't see the quarterback winning or losing football games. Okay, the team is winning or losing. The secondary is more. I got more problems with the Eagles secondary than I do with the quarterback spot. The team showed that they can score points regardless of who the quarterback is back there. When you have a guy like Sproles and you have Sproles in there with Shady at the same time with the wide receivers they have, there's weapons all over the place.
We just scored 43 yesterday, right?
Okay, how many were special teams?
One.
Okay.
Yeah.
So against a team that you're supposed to blow out.
And they did.
Destroy.
So
that's why I'm not excited.
Listen, Oakland won a football game last week. The fact that they beat anybody shows that any team can beat any time. It's still an NFL team. You still have to come prepared. Okay, you still can't just show up and say you're going to win. I hate that thing. It happened last year when Foles threw his 7 touchdown passes against Oakland. They said, well, it was against Oakland. If it's an NFL team and you do this type of stuff, it doesn't matter. You still got to go out there and play the game. Any given Sunday it's so true in the NFL at this point. It really is.
That's the thing with the NFL. Yeah, you say they can't help the fact that they play the Titans. It's not like college football where you need to schedule your non-conference team. They're just playing whoever the NFL handed them. They handed them the Titans and they blew them out. They did exactly what you asked them to do.
There's no defense on this side of the league in the NFC that can stop anybody on anywhere. There's no defense. Even Seattle's defense is chopped up now. So the scoring is going to be. it's going to who else, and you're going to see it Thursday for sure.
Yep.
This under and over is 54 and rising. Okay, it's going to be nothing but a shootout in Dallas because Romo, as much as I can't stand the fool, okay, he's going to pick apart that secondary and vice versa. Dallas defense is disgusting. Okay, what was supposed to be their strong part of the team is now falling apart, but they're outscoring. They're doing the same thing the Eagles are. They're just outscoring their opponents, and that's what this NFL is about. I watched teams yesterday play. No one's going into huddles anymore. The Chip Kelly deal is all over the league. There's everybody's getting as many plays they can get as possible. There's no more huddling. Even the guys on TV are like, well, teams are huddling. They make a big deal about it when they see it. So it's all changing to the offense. So it really doesn't matter. Your quarterback, I don't see the quarterback being the big influence on teams right now. I just don't see it.
You just said they could pick apart the defense.
Yeah, but I'm saying any quarterback can pick apart this Eagle defense. Even Tennessee started picking them apart. Okay,
exactly.
Any team. That's something. The problem with the Eagles isn't their quarterback. Okay, it's the fact that they let another team score with them. That's the whole thing. Chip's right. Pedal to the metal to the end because with this team, you got to do it. You got to keep scoring. And they want him. They want, well, Chip's got to learn how to kill the clock here. No, he doesn't have to learn how to kill the clock. He's just got to keep scoring because the other teams are going to score. If you have 5 minutes left in the game, there's a chance you can get 3 touchdowns. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is in this NFL. The 5-minute mark doesn't mean anything anymore unless you're Brady and Manning and you got control of your football game. That's it. And throw Aaron Rodgers in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not. Aaron Rodgers ain't so great out of the Packers out of Lambeau Field. So,
well, I just don't. For me, there's no excitement just because I don't see anything to look forward to.
Special teams, man, is exciting on this team. The fact that we in all these years,
the whole picture. I just don't see.
But again,
the team
outside of Green Bay, who matching up against the Eagles, are you saying, oh, we have no shot?
I can't say it. I don't see the team. I don't see even Seattle. I used to think we couldn't go to Seattle and win, but I don't think we're gonna have to worry about going to Seattle and winning. I mean, Seattle's a mess. They're mentally a mess, and their quarterback is winning football games running the ball, which isn't going to work for them this year. It's just not going to work. At the end of the day, Seattle's going to.
All he does is run.
That's it. And I don't see it. I mean, outside the Packers in Lambeau is the only team I would fear, and I want to see what happens in these next 3 games for the Eagles as they go to Dallas and they're actually going to Seattle, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Are they coming here?
They're.
I don't know if that game's home. We'll have to check that. But
no, they're coming here.
They're coming here. So that's So that's a win for the Eagles. I feel if Seattle's coming here, I feel the Eagles will win that football game, especially the way they're playing at home.
I'm saying traveling to Seattle in the playoffs, you don't have to worry about that. If you win your division and they don't, you don't have to worry about that.
And that's what's happening over there. And Arizona's taking care of business for everybody. I'm waiting for Arizona to fall apart. And I don't know if it's going to happen the way their schedule is. For the most part, they still, if they lose 3 more games, they still have enough wins to win that division. And like you said, as long as the Eagles win their division, Seattle's not a worry. Won't be a worry. So if you look at the whole way things are all set up now, it's set up in their favor. But once again, everything can go to everything. But if I look back at that secondary against any quarterback who's made it to the NFL, that secondary can pick apart by anybody. You're seeing even by the bad quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
it's just the way it is. I mean,
how many guys were open yesterday? And it's in the Eagles secondary with just like blue pass. You could see, I could see guys open, and I'm not like what you call an X and O's kind of person that could tell you what plays or what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whatever post or whatever. But I could see, oh my God, that guy's like wide open. I'm waiting for him to get the ball because if I can see it, then I'm pretty sure an NFL quarterback could see it.
Yeah, well, that's the deal. I mean, any kind of protection on your offensive line. I don't see the Birds. They got no talent in that secondary, man. I don't see it. I don't see the one player.
Sad.
I mean, Fletcher's a disgrace. From when he was brought over here from St. Louis to as supposed to be a good. I think it would happen between St. Louis and Philadelphia, the difference in schemes that they run, from last year to this year and what they did in St. Louis. He's not built for that bump and run stuff.
I just think it's so tough these days to be a good corner.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything. You can't touch them.
Right.
You can't do anything. So it's hard to be a good corner.
You have to be fast. Now it's no longer the big guys who can hit hard. You got to be able to cover.
You got to jam them quick and then run with them.
Right. You got to jam them quick, use the rules in your favor, and turn the frick around when you see your your wide receivers looking. You look too. That's all you have to do is turn around and go up, and you avoid that interference.
It's amazing.
I mean, what's the difference if you let them catch the ball if you turn around and he catches the ball, okay, he catches the ball. What if you don't turn around, he's going to get interference. He gets the ball anyway. So one way or another, you just got, it's going to take a few years for these D-backs and for teams to select and draft the right players for the rules. Right now, this Eagle secondary they're not like I said last week. I don't see any of these guys on the podium collecting the Super Bowl trophy.
In truth, though, you don't see many very good secondaries around the NFL anymore to that point. Period. I mean, when we were growing up, I mean, like you could
because you could hit out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You knew like 10 years ago, you knew who was good. You knew what team they were on, and you were like, oh, this is going to be.
You're
good.
not worried about Brian Dawkins coming across the middle and plastering you, because if he does, it's 40 G's out of his pocket.
Well, just like was it 2 weeks ago with the Broncos Rams, where Emmanuel Sanders got drilled on a deep ball, hit him with his shoulder. It was a legal, clean hit, but 15-yard penalty. He got fined. It gets a whole thing. Even when you do hit legal, there's still a penalty because it's so like, don't hit anyone hard anymore. Don't hit anyone hard anymore.
Right. That's so
even when you do it right, you're still getting a penalty.
Right. So the game itself is changing, and in the next 5 years, it's going to be completely different than what we saw 5 years ago. Yeah, well, I was saying that years ago when Brett Favre was still in the league and trying to hang on, and how they started protecting quarterbacks back in the early 2000s. You couldn't touch them, and even before them, they had, remember the grass rule? I don't know if you remember that when the quarterback was in the grass, they were down. That's no more anymore. There's no more grass. I don't even know what happened to that rule.
Because there were too many, because of the mobile quarterback.
Well, not even that.
They were bitching too, because they were like, look, you're calling that in the grass.
It's not the grass. No, it wasn't the grass. It was the throw, because guys were in the grass, down in the grass of a defender down low, but they still had the ability to throw the ball. And what they were doing is they were throwing the ball while they were out. So which came first, the tackle or the pass? So they threw that out instead of doing that. Now you can't touch the quarterback, at all. But that's just the problem in the game. But
But then again, we're having record sacks.
Yeah, well, because once again,
teams are throwing way more than they used to.
It's the whole league is throwing.
Back in the day, 30, well, not the day, but even 10 years ago, 30 passes was you threw a lot. Now, if you're throwing 55, like 60 times a game,
Sanchez threw the ball 45 times,
or something,
43 times. Okay, Sanchez shouldn't be throwing the football 43.
He's a 25 guy.
Yeah, 2 games he'd be throwing 43 times. The fact that he's doing that is the state of the game. Okay, there's nothing he can do about it. It's just the way the game's played. It's the way Kelly plays his offense.
It's not even that. How many times they run the ball too? It's just
because
a shitload more plays. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, because they're not huddling. You're not taking 30 seconds to call a play. You're taking 3 seconds to call a play. Then you're going up to the line and you're calling the line. I mean, when you look at the Eagles, they don't even call the play. The sideline calls the play. The league's still trying to figure out what the hell they're doing so they can start mimicking it at this point. But evidently, the only way the league's going to find out is when players move to other teams and they tell the other team, this is what we do over there. Because right now, if you're a scientist looking over that sideline, you're going to have to sit there for hours figuring out what guy is tossing the play out there.
Shit, they're running the Homer Simpson one again.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
Exactly. What do these signs even mean?
Yeah, it's the dude's changing the game. Kelly's changing the game. It's right there in front of you. You're watching it. You don't want to think it's college football, but you know what? The NFL is becoming college football. It's run and gun, man. It's score. And the NFL loves the scoring. We love the scoring. I mean, just the fact that we're scoring. Even the Eagles are scoring on their the special teams. Now forget the defense and the offense. Special teams scoring points, blocking field goals and stuff like that.
At a record pace.
To me, I could never watch the Birds block a punt. Now when they line up to block for a punt or a field goal attempt.
You think they got a chance now.
Yeah, exactly. So when you say it's not exciting, I say, well, I would flip the TV off when it came to the Birds blocking a punt. Or any team blocking a punt now, but now with the schemes and the rules, certain ways players can block you, and no hands in the face, and there's a lot. There's even on that part of the game, it's changed too, the way you can block.
And on the other end of that, more teams are doing the Rams just went for another fake punt again yesterday. Yeah. The teams aren't now. It's either you block it or you just fake it and get one. Like
faking might become the thing now soon, because if you think about it, where you are in that field, the fact of the matter is that if you're at the 50-yard line. Okay, you fake it and you give the other team. It doesn't matter because you can get that ball back because we're scoring more in this game. So if I'm in the second quarter, well, fake it and see what we get. Okay, we give them the ball at the 50. They go down. They get a field goal. Doesn't matter. We're getting the ball back again. We've got more time to score more, So you can take the chance because the way the offense is and the way the rules are, it just takes one bomb down the field with an interference call and you're back in the game. Well, that's it.
Just do the math. If you're saving 20 seconds of play by not huddling during a game, during the course of a game, that's how many extra plays per game. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody has even figured that out. Like,
well,
they have.
It's out there somewhere.
No, I mean like the point where like I'm surprised nobody's gone, well, you're really overworking. The union hasn't gone, well, you're going this crazy from all these plays before to increasing it. Don't you think the players' dollar value should increase too? Well, I mean, I can see that coming.
Nope.
I can see that coming. You're using the players.
I see what you're saying, but
because I see that attitude.
What is he saying? That they're overworked?
That's the union saying
that I'm not saying they're saying that. I'm saying I'm surprised that angle hasn't come up yet. Where
we're playing X amount of X more than we used to. We should get paid more.
Well, let me tell you something. No player in his right mind would bring up that angle now. With the kind of cash they're making and the way the game's making money now.
Cash.
Well, no, it's just first of all,
you're gonna run me 10 more plays a game. I could bust out my knee and be done now and not have 5 years down the line.
Then don't play and look at the next undrafted running back.
Yeah,
he'll run
that's
for
the thing.
200 yards.
I know.
And once again, that's the difference in the league now. If you don't want to play, it's obvious. Like you saw Deshaun Jackson, you don't want to contort to our situation. Out of here. We'll banish you to the Washington Redskins, where players go to retire. Same thing with what's his name from Seattle, man. They just say you don't want
Percy.
Goodbye. We don't care how good you are. You won a Super Bowl for us. That was nice. That was that Super Bowl. Okay. Today, tomorrow, the next day is what's important to us. You're out of here. So.
Yeah, but sadly, at least Seattle got something for it.
Yeah, but
we gave Deshaun away.
Well, we won't know we gave Deshaun away, depending on what he does in Washington. If he destroys that team over there, which he's starting to do, he's trying to run his T.O. mouth over there, which is going to get him sent to the Raiders eventually, and then before he goes out to the ocean. Or what they do is what they said, they end up sending T.O. to Buffalo. That's where he ended his career.
He'll be sleeping with the fishes.
But,
Godfather reference there.
That's
foreshadowing.
I can't, once again, players are, going to come and go faster than they used to because of the way the league is run now. Okay. The speed is very important now in the NFL. The big guy, the big man is going to go. Soon you're going to see your linebackers getting smaller and faster. The only thing that won't get smaller is your offense and defensive line, which will probably get bigger because they won't be able to use all their tools, but their bodies will be what's blocking now. Because they can't even use your hands anymore. Forget about using your hands. But as an offensive lineman, you might as well put your hands in your pocket because the holding penalties that are called constantly. I mean, it's out of control. Guys don't know what to do with their hands anymore.
Same thing with the corners now. How many illegal hands to the face
hands
and
in the face, right.
all the.
Well, what happens was
pushing off.
What I'm seeing on the wide receivers too is when everybody's pushing on the snap, and sometimes hands get caught in the face because the helmets are moving left and right. You know what I mean? So you get a hand in the face by accident. That's another thing too. That's going to become a technique soon.
Yeah, I saw I think it was 2 weeks ago in a game where a quarterback, he was trying to duck like a tackler.
Right. I saw that, yeah.
And the guy, he went low, but the quarterback ducked, right? He smacked him in his head. 15-yard penalty.
Right. Once again, that's referees not called. And at
the end, it's like, well, I went low. What do you want me to do?
And if a ref sees that, umpire sees that, whatever, they should. That should be part of their call. Pick the flag up. Just because it happened doesn't mean it was a penalty. They're going to have to start calling them like that because there's going to be so many penalties in games. And I know right now there's a lot of penalties in football games now. Not as much as we thought there was going to be, like the preseason had said, but still there's a lot of penalties. And I think it's going to continue. And once, everybody contorts the way it is, I think that they might even throw more flags next year to get it going quicker. Because if players don't get themselves together, number one, they're not going to be on a team. You're going to come to the NFL. You're going to have to learn to play by the rules or you can't play. Simple enough. You want to be a hard guy, just run and hit. It's not that kind of league anymore. I mean, the money, the legal end of it, just not letting that happen. So you're going to see scoring forever, for the rest of the NFL, for the next coming years. Scoring is what's going to be. 55 points a game won't be, a rarity.
Do you think they'll ever bring it back down to reality?
You can't. How can you? Reality is hitting. The only way you can stop scoring is you punish the other team.
And when you do that, you get concussions and you pay out your dues.
Right. There's no more punishing in the NFL. There's no more, guys don't want to hit. I mean, $40,000 is the average, is the starting fine now. That's going to go up, eventually. And then players don't want to pay that. Owners don't want to. I know it's like peanuts to the NFL, but you get enough of them, you start caring about it for the most part.
I mean, to that undrafted rookie making $400,000, $40,000 is a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, right.
Well, I'm wondering now, since how many of these older players are really having these hard times, these hard issues with all the injuries they had when they were playing. And we hear the reason why they're doing all these fines. And a lot of people, let's face it, I'm one of them, that bitches about the end result, the end product of all these flags and all these fines and stuff. But are they justified in doing it? That's the big question. I mean, like, I'm not saying that, you're overdoing it. Like with Cashy has always said from day one, and this is going back 4 years now, get rid of those helmets, get a different solution to there. So that way nobody buries their head in plows forward, because they have that and let's face it, these are most of the sport is young men, ages 20 to 25, 20 plus, whatever, in their prime. And I remember what I was like. I didn't think I could get hurt. Mm-hmm. I had that. They call it immortality syndrome. You keep going because you think you can do it all, and that's great. If you take away those safety barriers and these guys actually feel the pain, maybe they wouldn't go. Well, I'm not saying they wouldn't hit hard, but there's going to be guys that are going to hit hard and pay their dues and stuff. But in reality, like, are we looking at like 30% of all the guys that have ever played for the NFL over the years have had problems? We talking 40%? What, 50%? Well, I mean, does anybody even know that true number at how bad? How did we get to this point? Because I think unless you get to that point, you figure out what happened, you can't fix it.
No, get to the point was money. $5 billion got to the point to the NFL. It's plain simple. The $5 billion, they didn't like paying that out, and they were never going to pay it again. And they're going to make sure they never get hit with that kind of cash. $5 billion evidently is a lot to the NFL. Okay, and whatever their financial deal is, that's a lot to them. So $5 billion lawsuit, a loss. That's a big loss for them. That's what changed everything. Nothing else. They don't could care less about anything but that money. The money changes everything. NFL's all about cash. That's what they do. Okay, you don't have a $5 billion lawsuit. They don't give a shit. They really don't.
I know it's unfavorable to side with an NFL, but like, you signed up for this.
Yeah.
How can you sue for getting hurt?
Because you can.
Up for this?
Because Mike, you can. They allow you to be able to sue.
Like suing because he got burned in a fire.
Yeah, well, can you?
I don't know.
I would hope
no,
not.
You can't.
That's what I'm saying. You got
a fireman has a pension. He has his insurance and stuff like that.
So the NFL players, they have pensions, but
well, because you know what? When you're talking that kind of money, you can afford to buy the kind of legal assistance to get you to sue.
I just don't see how that could happen.
I just told you that's how it works.
I know that, but like, just theoretically, like, yeah, you got hurt playing football. That's what happens when you play football. Like, so like you said, you wouldn't get mad when you got burnt as a firefighter. Right. You just signed up to be a firefighter, to fight fires.
Right.
You signed up to hit men and have men hit you. And now you're saying, well, I'm going to sue you because I'm hurt now. Well, yeah, that's going to happen.
That's the nature of, the NFL. And it's
the nature of the world. It's a sued world.
Well,
now.
Yeah. I mean, and the NFL, they're done. They don't want to be sued anymore. They couldn't care less about that stuff. And the way they're going to get around it is by, make it a little more ballet-ish in the NFL. A little more dance and less hitting.
Do you have to sign a waiver like you do, like when you go
when you're a kid?
When you're
your mom has to sign a waiver for you?
Yeah, saying I take this of my own accord.
Now, if they did it, obviously that would never happen. But if it did do that, do you think anyone would not play? Like, is there any percentage of NFL players who would say, I don't want to play anymore if I?
Well, you're going to take the chance, like the 2% chance that you're going to get injured and not have a career to $4.5 million a year over like 6 years, But
that's what I'm saying. I think that is a good idea to do that. Maybe it is a good idea. You sign us saying you can't sue us and you get hurt, because they're gonna be like, I don't.
I'm not getting hurt. Look at me.
I got a $1 million, $2 million contract over here. You're still gonna sign it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, we've talked about it week after week about the NFL. It is what it is, and what we're watching now is just the start of the way football is going to be. And like I said, I'm the start of this. It's all about the scoring. It's not about defenses won't win Super Bowls anymore. They can't. I mean, until the players get fast enough.
Year, though. It's hard
they did last year, but last year wasn't when the rules were. This preseason is when we saw the rules change. Really. That's last year was a little trial and error thing. This is the year you're seeing it right now. Look at the scores in these games. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Even if a game is an under game, it's still one of the teams scored a lot. You know what I mean? It's never the 17-14 game, like the Redskins and the Niners, 17-13.
That's just too bad offense.
Right, you're not going to see that again. And once again, even you look at Seattle, Arizona, where Arizona, they only scored 3 points.
They don't have Palmer. That's why.
But Arizona is what they are, man. They're not 9-3, man. They're okay at this point. Give us a call, 267-563-2893. You're on a rant and beat with the boys. Right now, I'm going to take a break and pay a couple bills. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Pat the Pat of the Sports Goomba Show. Let me tell you all about our friend Larry Gilman and his company, Larry Gilman Direct. When you need apparel for your business, he is the solution. T-shirts, staff shirts, jackets, hats, banners, and custom welcome mats, and much more. Check out LarryGilman.biz or call 267-908-3863. Hey, and check this out. Larry can set you up to accept credit cards for your company with no equipment charge. That's LarryGilman.biz or call 267-908-3863.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandes and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com. Hey, are you paying the piper again? You owe the guy? Busted by the book? Let's end that aggravation right now. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Best Sports Picks Today offers free picks from 50 of the best sports handicappers in America today. Daily selections from NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, MMA, the ponies, and even golf action every day of the week. Best Sports Picks Today not only has few of the best handicappers working for them, we also have the best in the nation working with them. Get you high quality picks for free every day. BestSportsPicksToday.com. Check them out and start winning now. Cash the King here, back here with the Sports Goomba crew. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. Mikey Wall over here. This is the pick session. That's right. This is where Cashy the King tends to earn you as much possible money as he can. All right, let's get right to it last week. All right. We didn't do so good last week, did we? No, we came up a little short. A little bit short. Last week I gave out the Denver and the over 31, which they actually Denver hooked me up at the end there. I think Manning got a little hot at the end of that and took care of me there. But the Green Bay, once again, the over 30 in their game too. They hooked me up as well. So that was 2 games. Actually, that wasn't last week. What did we do last week? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I'm the wrong thing here. We had Detroit and New England. Okay. Look at the wrong sheet here. Detroit and New England. So New England got the over. I used the over 28-29. It actually was 30.5. And that's who hooked me up last week. I think it was Brady who came through at the end of that game. Took care of that for me. The one I lost on was the Washington at San Francisco, which was San Francisco can't score anymore. Evidently, and the Redskins, I don't know, just there, right? If he's healthy, because C-3PO is done. He's done. I don't even know how he knows how to play quarterback anymore.
He's Empire Strikes Back C-3PO.
Yeah,
he's got no arms, no legs, nothing.
Yeah, his arm is even gone. From the looks of that game, it was awful. I mean, it's almost sad to see what happened to him in 3 years. That mechanical, way of playing games, running, throwing, doing everything he did in college, and that warranted Snyder trading all his draft picks for him and getting that first pick. When, what a waste. Now Washington is now going to be backed up unless McCoy or Cousins can come out and be a quarterback that they think they can be, that they showed in a couple games. But once again, when those guys started playing, several games, they got picked apart. Like we said in this NFL, you don't get much time to prove your point before someone figures you out.
But that with the Griffin thing, like something was wrong from the get-go. Because when you draft a franchise quarterback, when you trade all that to get a franchise quarterback, and then 2 rounds later you draft another quarterback, when they draft Cousins, that just shows that they weren't 100% they were. I don't even know. Why would you trade all that up and then say, we're gonna get another one just in case?
Right.
I never got that.
Maybe they knew the future and they knew mobile quarterback was not what you thought
so
you were going to get
3
anyway.
first rounders and a second for it or whatever it was.
Right. And the other game I gave you was the New York Rangers over 5.5, and like the side total against Philadelphia last week. And well, that didn't work out either. The Rangers put in 2 goals. The Flyers played a good defense. They couldn't score themselves, but I didn't really care about that. At the point, I needed 3 from the Rangers. I didn't get it. So we went 1-3 last week. It gave me an 8-4 total coming in for the last 2 weeks. In the last 3 weeks, I think we're 7, 8. Yeah, we're 8-4 in the last 3 weeks of games. And we'll try to do a better job next week. And next week I have here for you. Okay, we're going to go into Thanksgiving, and Jeffrey Brandy is going to give us a call. He's got a couple plays he wants to give us to from trendbetting.com. Detroit on the side total. The under and over is 47 right now. I'm seeing Detroit. They're playing well. They're finally playing well on Thanksgiving, where they're going to be the favorite in this game. And I see them scoring, it's going to be 24-25 on the side total. I don't know if they'll win the game or not. It doesn't matter, but I think Detroit will put some points up there in this primetime, Thanksgiving game. The other one, too, is Philadelphia is at Dallas. The under and over here now is at 54. This one's going to be nuts. It's going to be up and down the field. I mean, any way you put it, there's these 2 rotten defenses. And, I think Tony Romo is going to have a field day, as much as I don't like the guy. Where's our Tony Romo doll? Here we go. Got the voodoo doll. Part of his body want to nail. Want to nail the arm?
That's what he was saying. Get the shoulder. Get the shoulder, too.
Get the Romo shoulder here. That's it. Yeah. Put it right in there.
Take some zip off that ball.
We did it to his back a couple weeks ago, and it worked. Okay. Tony, what are you going to do with this guy? No, get out of here. So that's what I think about that game for the most part. It'll be a joyful Thanksgiving dinner as all the families are gathered around their TV sets instead of their dinner tables watching this one. I mean, if you live in Philadelphia and you're on Thanksgiving against Dallas, forget about the turkey and all that crap. You might as well get out the paper plates and pretty much,
Got some callers.
Yeah, let him go. He knows it's the pick session. Should be calling in now anyway. So what I said is you pretty much got your dinners are going to be on paper plates. You might as well serve the smorgasbords or the buffet for the Thanksgiving.
Smorgasbords?
Yeah, whatever, Brett. You know what I was talking about. The bottom line is that forget Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is all about the TV set. 4:30 game takes you right into 8 o'clock. Forget about it. Paper plates, and that's the way it's going to have to go. I got a hockey game tomorrow. Vancouver is going to host New Jersey Devils. The under and over this thing is 5. I thought it would be 5.5, maybe 6. I don't know. Vancouver is playing real good hockey. Jersey's got to come across the country with 2 days into a vacation weekend. I think it's a bad spot for the Devils. They're letting up a lot of goals lately, and on the road is not a good place for them at all. Like Vancouver on the side total, and the over 5 on this works for me. Shut up, Vic. Damn dog.
He doesn't let that pick, I guess.
Shh. You don't like that at all. Somebody must be at the door. Anyway, there's my plays. I got Detroit on the side total, Dallas and Philadelphia. I like this game to go over to 54, and I would keep my eye on the Dallas side total on that one as well. That could be, oh my God, 2 28s here, 28 and 28, 26 and 28 maybe. That's what I think it's probably going to be. Dallas will be 28, the Eagles will be 26. And then they got Vancouver at New Jersey in the NHL tomorrow at the over 5. And that's our picks for today. And they're brought to you by our gang at Sir Dustless. Check them out at sirdussist.com. The hardwood specialists. Sand and finish, replacements, give them a call. 888-336-1770. That's 888-336-1770. Here's from my man, Chris D'Angelo. So take good care of Tell them the Sports Goomba sent you. And that's our place. So take them, leave them, do what you want with them. But they're cashy kings. Because, Ben, what do I always say? If you're paying your bookie,
it ain't our fault.
And too many plays lose too many ways. That's why we don't give out too many plays a week anymore. So that's our deal. Let's get right to the big story of the week is Johnny Manziel. I mean, we're looking for a patron saint of this show. Someone who's going to give us stories every week. Tony Romo, he's been around for a while since Brett Favre left, but he's not that good anymore. I mean, he's too predictable. Doesn't do anything. He's got no broads. He's got nothing going on. He doesn't do anything. He just shows up for the game and bitches and moans about, injuries and stuff. He's not good anymore. I need somebody else. I thought that, we had Tim Tebow for a while there, but he disappeared too. There's nobody. But let's go to the phones right now. I think I got my man Jeffrey calling in. Sports Goombas, welcome to the show.
This is Jeff Brandy. How the heck are you?
Yeah, how many times are you going to call? You shouldn't call during the pick session until I'm finished. How am I going to get you in that way? You watching that Jet game?
I heard you give me that plug over there, and I heard you give Trent Betting the plug. How can I be bad? Beautiful thing.
Yeah, how's it go? So, I need to know what you think about this Thursday night.
This Thursday night, I have some strong opinions. It's a real good night. The game of interest to all of us will be the Philly-Dallas game.
Right.
And Sanchez, he's 3-1. He's 3-1 as the Philly quarterback.
True.
How can you say anything bad about this guy? The one game he lost, what did Philly give up? 112 points?
Yeah. Well, you got a point there. Once again, and B made a point about this. City doesn't see that record as being exciting, and I understand that because in this town, it's not about your record. It's you can go 15-1. We don't care if you lose that first playoff game. You're as good as 8-8. Doesn't matter to us. We're starving for NFL in this town. Starving for the NFL winner. We've been teased for so long. Throughout the 2000s, we were teased left and right. It's no good around here anymore. You got to win. Either win it or you lose it. We had a good season. We don't take that around here anymore because we're starving.
No more.
Yeah. I mean, if we were the Giants, if we were the Giants and we had a couple Super Bowl rings, we would understand, okay, we had a good season, but we had the joy of the Super Bowl. We were Dallas same way, or New England or Baltimore. But we don't have that here. We don't have that, we don't have that freaking parade with that stinking trophy. And unless that's what it is, we don't care. This town doesn't care. You can have a great game, have a great season. Don't win, you're a loser. That's it. That's the mentality. Take it or leave it. That's Philly.
I think that would only last for so long, though. Look at the Phillies. We always said the same thing with the Phillies. Give us one ring, and now we're like, ugh, Phillies. Oh, God.
I want another one. Yeah. And then we were starved for it, and we kept and we bitched about it for 3 years when they went back. And same
Phillies
thing.
have been but they were in 2 series in a row. It's a little different. You were there. You had the run. You got to 1 World Series, 2 World Series. Should have been in 4 World Series. Really, if you think about it, they weren't mismanaged. They would have been in 4 World Series. So, Jeff, back to your Thursday night. I need to know what your action is on Thursday. I'm real curious to see how you see this.
Well, you're getting 3 points, all you Philly fans, at Dallas. At this moment, it's 3 points even.
I'll take it.
I like Philly. I like Philly to win the game outright.
Okay.
Philly's gonna go in there and just run all over Dallas.
Possibly.
And not just run, they're gonna pass. And your boy Tony Romo, who I know you love to pieces. Am I right or wrong about that?
He's a sweetheart of my life.
I knew that. He's gonna revert to form. And Philly. My prediction in this game is 37-20. Philadelphia.
There goes the over. That's a good deal for me. One thing we've proven with Tony Romo, and I'm tired of hearing how tough he is. He's not tougher than any other quarterback in the NFL. It's just a glory that the NFL media, the announcers, they just love this guy. I mean, the man love that went on last night in the Giant game. It took 5 minutes after the first kickoff before everybody was loving Tony Romo. He's like, he's like one of the. They were giving him. He's like one of the elites, and I'm looking at myself. This guy's won nothing, zero.
I feel like being called tough is like a backhanded compliment. 'Cause it's like it just means you get hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
But you stay out there sometimes. Like
you're on your paycheck.
Yeah, like you don't call Phil Rivers a tough quarterback. He's never missed a game in his career, ever, not one. You don't say he's tough because he doesn't get hurt. You think of Romo and Roethlisberger; they're tough because they get hurt all the time.
Yeah, look at Peyton Manning. You ever see him take that helmet off? He's got these red gashes, dents in his forehead, man. Don't tell me he's not tough. Listen, if you're in the NFL, outright you're tough. Except for a couple field goal kickers, maybe a punter or two, you're tough. You didn't get there by being a wimp. There's no wimps in the NFL, as far as I'm concerned. There's guys who are better than guys, but there's no wimps in the NFL. Everybody in the NFL is tough.
Even Deshaun?
Well,
he's a wimp.
I never see him get hit.
I want to make a point about Philadelphia when I get a chance.
Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Their starting quarterback is going to be Mark Sanchez. Did you know that?
What, for Eagles? Sure, looks like
Mark Sanchez has more playoff victories than the Detroit quarterback, Matthew Stafford, the Chicago quarterback, the nut job, Seattle quarterback, Wilson, and San Francisco Kaepernick combined. Mark Sanchez.
I know.
Is that a true fact? Because Kaepernick alone and Wilson alone have to 9 at least.
More playoff wins than all of them combined. Jay Cutler, how many does he have?
Wait. First of all, Kaepernick's got 4.
Yeah, he went to 3 NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl. Wilson
two. What you call one of his NFC Championship games?
I thought he lost one, won one.
No, he won one, lost one.
Oh,
he's been to a Super Bowl once, so he has 4 playoff wins because they didn't have to win it wild.
Wilson has at least 3.
Well, Wilson's just 2 years in the league.
Yeah, but he won 3 at least last year alone.
Well, they won a division, so he won 3 and 1 more. So yeah, but Sanchez was two NFL championships.
Yeah, and he won and he won them all on the road.
Right, he won the wild card games both times too.
I want a fact check on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to get a fact check, but I don't know. Jeff knows his Jets.
I'll give it to him.
That's the deal. He's a
that's scary.
He's a sorry Jet
and
fan.
I got another question for you,
Ashley
the King, and the chef to the left. How many quarterbacks that are playing this Thursday on Thanksgiving have beaten Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in back-to-back playoff games?
It's Sanchez.
None of them.
Yeah, we know it's Sanchez.
Sanchez. Oh, is it Sanchez? That's right. It is Sanchez. You're
he
right.
had to go through both of them.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's obvious. I should have known that answer right off the bat.
Set up.
Yeah, but so what are you trying to say, Jeff? The Sanchez
quarterback, you guys don't even realize it.
Listen,
what an edge you guys got.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Okay, all right. So what you're saying is the Jets are completely stupid.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we know he knows that. Poor guy. He knows that. You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you got 3 points at Dallas. You better jump on that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going with the scoring, man. Forget about who wins that game. That game goes down to the last one who's got the ball. I'm not even going to get involved in that part of it. I want to give me the points. I mean, the Eagles got a field goal kicker who's out. He's just kicks them everywhere. I mean, he did miss one the other day. What did he kick? 5 of them? 5 field goals?
Yeah. He had 5 field goals and 4 extra points.
Yeah. I mean, the guys, both, even the Dallas kickers, I think he's even better actually. Dallas has got the best kicker in the league. So, when they're down in the 40, the 35, 40 yard, they're kicking field goals now. And once again, teams are doing that because they know they're going to get the ball back eventually. So they take a shot at the points, even though they're giving up good field position. Just the way the game's going.
Philadelphia's going to score 37 points. So that's 10 field goals and a touchdown.
That's about Sanchez. You got that right. Yeah. That's about right. Right on.
No, he's not including special teams running 2 back. So
yeah. So what we have we have the Detroit game, the early game, Detroit Lions. Who are they playing? Who are they freaking playing? Chicago. Well, Chicago.
Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Yeah. My.
It's Chicago. What a disappointment that quarterback. I mean,
it's so much potential.
Yeah, he's a nutcase, man. He can't. He's got that movie. He's got that loop movie in his head, just going around and around. I think the guy talks to himself all the time. Even when you watch him on the sidelines, he's having a conversation with himself. You just tell by looking at his eyes,
Well, I saw some 2 games ago. They were saying that the Bears are the only team with Pro Bowlers at quarterback, running back, and 2 receivers, and they're still awful.
Yeah,
you have so much talent. How are you awful?
It doesn't matter which coach you put in there, head coach. It hasn't changed anything in years. And the worst part is how many times have you seen really good players on their team the last 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
And the coaches are just like changing.
And
Well, they went to the
and nothing
Super Bowl
gets
a few
better.
years back. They made the Super Bowl,
That was
what,
also
8 years
defense.
ago? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, when the defense, right? When
Mhm.
defense is mad. Well, forget about that. So we got another game too. We got a late game too on Thursday. What do you like? You like Detroit?
You got 3 games.
Yeah,
you got Detroit's hosting Chicago, and Seattle's at San Francisco.
Oh, that's a good. That's the best
a good
game of
one.
the day. You know, that's going to be a low score for sure.
That's going to be. They play each other tough. Those two teams. The line is pick'em right now, and
Really?
that's about the way it's good. But I'm going to give the edge to Seattle in that game.
Yeah, San Francisco can't
But
score
Seattle
points.
played real well this week.
Yeah,
They reverted back to Super Bowl form this week.
yeah. Well, they played a team that's a Fugazi, so that's what I think. I think Arizona is just. I don't know. I don't know how they're winning because they're beating teams that are worthless. I guess I don't know. They're just I don't know what kind of run they're on, but they'll get knocked out in the first round for sure. If they
If they play in the first round.
what Arizona?
Yeah.
Well, are they going to?
Well,
Oh yeah,
they'll
they'll
still
get
get a
the
bye.
bye. Yeah, we need them to get the bye. We need them to win that division. That's key. That's key to get Seattle out of the picture. So Detroit and Chicago. You taking Detroit laying? What, they laying the 7?
Oh, I like Detroit.
Yeah, you gotta like them. Like I was saying before, like when I was giving out my plays, I said this is Detroit. You know, they're actually playing well on Thanksgiving to where they can actually win the game. It's been a while since they were actually a team that you could figure on winning on Thanksgiving. You know,
I mean, Chicago lost 2 or 3 games in a row by giving up 50 points. I can't. I have no faith in them.
they're
at
a
all.
mess. They're a mess. Hot mess.
Yeah.
That's what they are. Jeffrey, Jeff, give me.
And you only have to give 6.5 at this time. I would jump on that too.
What do you think? Did the Jets get beat tonight by Buffalo? Is that it? Can we fire Rex tomorrow? You know, or we give him a reprieve because of the snowfall.
Well, the fish stinks from the head down. It isn't just Rex. You got to go right to the top. You got to go to Woody Johnson. You got to go to Idzik. Idzik is the worst GM in pro football, bar none. And Rex is a defense. Rex's championship or playoff game that he went to were the result of the boy genius.
Yeah.
Stan Genius. In my humble opinion, of course, and other people too. So anyway, Rex should be. He should be doing something like cleaning off cars or working in the car wash or something like that.
Pretty much, man. Maybe him and his brother they could have their own web show or something like that.
I don't get. I thought New York was supposed to be the toughest place to you're under the microscope and all the scrutiny, but I feel like he gets a pass. He's not good, but yet no one even says
because the Giants are the football team in New York. That's when you have 2 teams like that in
even
the city.
Coughlin's been bad for so long. How are both those guys still there?
Coughlin's got rings. Every time, well, here's the thing, Coughlin, it's like every time you bitch about the guy, somehow
They win.
the next year they win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Although this year I don't think he's going to be around to do it next year. I mean, look what the team he's had. Look what Coughlin has. If they let him stay, look at the receivers he has. He's got the mold of a team developing, but they're never going to let him stay to coach the rest of his team.
He's old.
He's old.
He's really old.
Come on, he's still breathing. In the NFL, if you're breathing, you're coaching. That's the way it is. He's got. So you look at his offense. It can't be that bad. He fixes that offensive lineup.
The line's bad.
He fixes that lineup and he protects Manning, and he's got those weapons out there. Manning can play with those guys.
Maybe just get rid of Manning.
He's got 2 rings. You can't
He
get rid
has
of
2
him.
rings, but he's still not even a Hall of Famer.
Nobody cares about what his Hall of Fame is. They care
He's
about.
not that good.
He's not that good. He can't even hold his brother's jockstrap.
Exactly.
We know that. We understand that. But he's got more rings than his bro.
I rode his ass to a Super Bowl though.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is, you're judged by your rings in this league, man.
Yep.
It's the way it is in the NFL.
Well, and also too, like Cashy said, he's never going to get judged with what's happening right now because he doesn't have an offensive line. Look at him. He for the first time. I've been watching just for material for sure because I had a vested interest years ago in the Giants, but I don't now. So I just look at it and he just looks like a scared little boy half the time, like getting rid of the ball. Yeah,
that's Manning's look. He's always
He
had
is-
that
he is
look,
stupid
man. That's
look.
his look, man. He's like the hody-do look he gives every time, but that's just his look, man. His brother has his own look too, but he does. I don't think Manning. Eli's not scared of anything. The guy.
I don't think Eli's scared. I just think he has his look. Like I said, his look. I feel like the camera always happens to catch him making the dumbest faces.
He's like, when he thinks of what he did wrong, he seems to make a face. Like when he's trying to ponder on what he just did wrong, his eyes drop. And that's the way he looks.
take a shit too. He has the same look.
It was like McNabb. When McNabb used to fuck up all the time, he used to walk off smiling because that's the way that's the way he did his. That's the way he showed his. I don't know if it's nervousness or whatever. Fuck McNabb. I can't even believe I mentioned his name. Ugh. That was one with me.
Well, because
strike that. Hold on. We're gonna strike that when we put the re-recorded this thing out.
You can edit that out.
Jesus Christ.
Just gonna have you going.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. We appreciate your call. You want to give a little plug out for the website and the boys over there at Trend Betting? Go ahead. This is your time.
You can get all of King Brandy's selections at www.trendbetting. That's TRENDBETTING.com.
You got it, man.
Thanks for letting me plug that, kid.
Not a problem. And just to let you know, Jeff is on fire. I know. I've been watching his plays this weekend. What'd you do this weekend? You 4-0 this weekend?
I know I won college ball. I'm doing real well. I think I won 5 or 3 yesterday.
Whoa. Let's talk about the game that we talked about. The Atlanta game, the Atlanta Cleveland game, where you had the under, I had the over, and I had that field goal. I had the over 3 ways. Okay.
My kid, my son is, he posts also. My son posts the over after I gave out the under. So I'm like, I have to write to everybody and say, listen, I gave out the under. My son gave out the over. The over covered on the last
field goal. Yep.
Seconds.
The side totals, everything. It was one big, huge kick. All right, Jeff. Appreciate the call. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
You got
it. On, Brendan. Have a great night.
Hey, what about Mike? You've got Mike sitting over here to the right of me, man.
You've been gone already.
Jeff.
Have a good turkey day.
He doesn't know there's a third guy in the room. He ain't watching on the screen either.
Sort of a quick breaking news here. Mike Vick benched.
For who?
Gino's back in.
So
I just figured. Little Vick update.
What do you think Vic's saying? Well, okay. I'm still getting paid, man. I can't believe I'm still playing in the NFL as it is. Even when in Philadelphia took me out of jail, I couldn't believe I was still playing in the NFL. He's just gathering cash. All right, I want to get to something that's very important to us. Last week we had a conversation here with Mikey Walls. We asked him if he saw The Godfather, and he said to me, no. And it was shocking to you is how he could be on our show, the Sports Goombas, not seen The Godfather. Let alone a couple of his friends got on him too. I don't even know that you're allowed back at that bar you hang out until you pass the quiz. So what I did is I pulled up a fun trivia website on the Godfather 1 trivia. And we're going to go through like 5, I'll go 10 questions here.
All right.
And it gives you the answer and it gives you a couple minutes. Well, actually it gives you 5 seconds to change your answer, but you're not going to get a chance to change your answer. Evidently, Mikey here, he spent his better part of last night watching The Godfather instead of watching anything else.
So I'll break it down. So after all the games were over last night, it's about midnight. I had work in the morning. I'm like, wait, I didn't watch The Godfather this week, and they're asking me questions about it. So I'm like, all right, here's the thing. I'll check on demand. If it's free, I'll watch it.
Free?
I was like, if I got to pay for it, I'll try to YouTube it at work tomorrow. So it was on. It was there. It was free. It was on demand.
Just so you know, it's on YouTube, the entire movie.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was gonna watch. I was gonna watch it at work.
Subtitles and all.
Yeah. See, perfect. I watched it. And I will say this: I enjoyed it.
Of course you enjoyed it. It's the best movie ever made. Go to see 2 next. Next week we're going to get you on 2.
I don't care.
You don't care. 2's better than 1.
That's what I heard. They always say it was the one sequel where it's better than the original. But
yeah, well, because you needed this story. All right, we'll get right to it here. Let's see what we got going. Godfather trivia. First question. It's already done here. During Connie's wedding, the feds show up to take down license plates on the car in the driveway. When Sonny objects, the agents show him the ID. Sonny reacts hell. 1, he throws the camera at the agent. B, throws the ID on the ground. C, he spits. Or D, punches the agent.
He spits on his badge or something like that, or his ID, whatever it was.
Nice work. That's
Yeah.
B, you keep track.
I
It's
got
1-0.
I got you.
Second question. The Turks' real name is A, Virgil Sollozzo, B, Victor Sollozzo, C, Vito Sollozzo, or G, Tony Romo.
Victor?
Victor Sollozzo. That'd be incorrect.
Oh.
All right, that's 1-1.
See, I only remembered him by his
It's
last
Virgil
name.
Sollozzo.
See, I remembered him by his last name, so.
Well, you got to pay more attention.
No.
Before the famous restaurant scene, Michael is picked up in front of a restaurant. What place? Jack Dempsey's restaurant, Louis' restaurant, Macy's, or Carmine's restaurant. You're done.
Well, I know Louis is where he shot them, I believe.
We don't
Would that
need-
be correct?
Yeah, that'd be correct. Okay.
So I'm gonna say, I thought it was Macy's. I didn't think it was a
Macy's,
restaurant.
okay.
I know they went shopping together, him and his girlfriend.
Macy's is incorrect. It's Jack Dempsey's.
Oh, man. I'm
Okay,
struggling.
and you get scored on a rate here because the faster you get it, the more points you get.
Oh man.
Next question. What does McCluskey order for dinner before he's gunned down? A steak, the veal, antipasta, or that chicken parmesan?
The veal.
The
It's the best
veal.
in the town.
Very good, man. Beautiful. Get that B.
I
Keep
got,
track.
got two.
Well, actually, this thing is going to tell you anyway. How much money does Bruno Tattaglia offer Luca Brasi to work for him? 50 G's, 100 G's, 25
50
G's.
G's. I can stop you there.
Okay, stop me there. Beautiful. Good job.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
All right.
What does Michael's wife in Italy want him to teach her to do?
Drive a car.
Bingo. All right. I'm impressed. Guy paid attention.
I did. I was playing video games. I was playing Madden the entire time.
Next
but-
question. Saying, lead the gun. Take the cannolis. Who says this famous line? Tom Hagen, Peter Clemenza, Sal Tessier, or Michael Corleone?
Clemenza.
Clemenza. This man is on a roll. He's on a roll. So a lot of people are going to be proud of you, my man.
Good.
Next question. Where was Vito Corleone when he died? Was he at the park, the toll booth, in his tomato field, or in the study?
He's in the tomato field with his little Anthony.
There you go. All right.
Bonus points for knowing the kid's name.
When Michael goes to see his father in the hospital, you ain't going to get this one. What is lying on the desk at the nurse's station? Cheese, a cheese sandwich, hat and glove, rack of test tubes, eyeglass case.
Eyeglass case. I have no idea.
I would say.
If I get it, it's a pure guess.
My God, that's a hard one.
Nah, that's wrong. Eyeglass case is wrong. It's the cheese,
Cheese
sandwich.
Hmm.
I like
Eh,
the
Why
cheese
would-
sandwich.
I knew you wouldn't get that one. What does Sonny not throw at Carlo when he beats him up in the street? A rock, a shoe, a garbage can, or a piece of wood?
I know the last two. He did throw. He didn't throw.
Want to phone a friend?
I guess I didn't see a shoe.
Is that your final answer?
The final answer.
Final answer is shoe?
A rock.
Incorrect. It was a rock. In the rock, sir. Okay, that's it. And your results are?
Was that 6, right?
Yeah.
I passed.
Yeah, you
6%.
passed.
That's a D. I passed.
Let's see. Your score was a 431 out of 1,000.
Oh, that's
Okay.
it. That's time. That doesn't count.
You missed. You had 6 out of 10 questions. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's passed. You're allowed to
That's
stay
a
on
6.
the show.
I got a D.
I know.
I'm a graduate of The Godfather.
There you go. All right. So next
See you
week.
next week. I'm back again.
What is this, public school grading? 60%. That's not
Ben
passing.
Salem. Ben Salem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's okay.
dear
Let me
Lord.
tell you something. These questions are pretty easy. The cheese sandwich one
Yeah.
was a tough one. Even I didn't get that one. I had 9 out of 10, but I
Mm-hmm.
missed the cheese when I did this. I did this before you came in just to make sure.
My thoughts on the movie. Could not stand Marlon Brando's character. Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him. His voice,
It's supposed to be like
his
that.
underjaw, his underbite. Like
His underbite. He had cotton in his mouth. That's the whole thing.
I know, I understand that it was the aspect.
Oh,
but
do me a
that's the
favor.
point.
Keep that to yourself. Don't even say anything. You're talking to somebody at the conference. Yeah, Brandon was great. Just say that.
I didn't enjoy him that much.
Really? That's the part of the movie you didn't like.
But the movie itself, I did enjoy. I will say.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
maybe you'll like the second one then.
If you
He's
if
not-
you, if,
yeah.
you if you watch it enough,
He's
you start,
dead,
you
you know.
start to pick it apart. You know, you
Mhm.
can start to like I've seen the movie 175 times.
Also,
I'm counting, but I mean, you can start to. You know,
would not have known that was Pacino if you didn't tell me, if I didn't already know going
His
in.
voice.
It didn't look like him.
I'm trying to figure out when Pacino's voice changed. What movie was? I mean,
Dick Tracy.
is it Dick Tracy? I think Dick
Gonna call you
Tracy.
Dick.
Yeah, something happened to
Tracy,
Pacino's voice.
Tracy.
I'm trying to figure out when it went to that raspy.
Yeah.
Like, hoo-ah
No,
kind of crap.
I would say Son of a Woman. I think he did it for that. Didn't he?
It's-
Did it made it more
Just like when your
exaggerated?
mom always says, "Don't
Or-
do that. It's gonna stay that way." you
Well,
know?
no, I think he just didn't exaggerated it maybe in that.
Yeah, before Son of the Woman, there was he was in something else that was raspy.
The Devil's Advocate, was that before that?
Yeah, but it was before
that
that.
was
Even-
that was
after.
later.
Yeah.
because his Michael Corleone voice and Dog Day Afternoon
Yeah.
and
It's kinda
Justice
more,
for All, they were more squeaky. He's more squeaky.
More-
than,
yeah, it's more.
He played. Didn't he
high
play?
pitch.
Didn't he play that cop movie too?
I don't recollect that, Senator.
He was in the. Let's get the. I said so many freaking movies. I don't freaking.
Mhm.
He was in Dick Tracy.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was the. He was the little guy with the black hat. I thought that was De Niro, but yeah, you're right. It was
No.
get mixed up. Well, good job, Mike. Yeah, I'm
Thank
really
you.
impressed that you actually managed to watch the movie. I
Mhm.
figured you wouldn't even have bothered with it at that time.
12 o'clock in the morning. I told you it was one of those movies.
No.
You put it on. Now you've been like, oh, this is going to be a good.
And it was funny is that you mentioned that, but then I was watching it halfway through, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll pick it up tomorrow later. And I just found out. I was like, I'm gonna sit here and watch it. I want to see what happens next
Yeah.
now.
It's
So
one
I
of
did-
those- it is one of those movies
did
where
enjoy
you gotta get into it. You know.
Mhm.
The New York
Good pick.
Jets got beat 38-3. That should pretty much do it for Rexy.
You think?
You're
You
38.
think getting shredded by the Bills? would be
Buffalo
enough.
don't have a running back, right? He's out.
No, they're on like the third and fourth string. Actually, no, I think
Yeah.
Jackson did come back, but
Yeah.
they're like, they're down.
There's no way
Like a little Bryce Brown, old ex-Eagle.
How do you not score against Buffalo? I mean,
In a dome, too. You can't even use
Yeah.
excuse of it being cold and bad weather. It's in a dome.
the other game is a half surprising low scoring game. We got New Orleans is up on Baltimore.
I wouldn't say it's the low score.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You double that up
Yeah,
and it's 30.
28, 35,
Yeah,
four.
yeah, right. You know, for the most part. That's your NFL update here on the
And that's at the
Sports
half,
Buzz.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple other games yesterday. You watched Manning come back, and he had a tough game the week before. But came back and he started off slowly yesterday, but once again, just give him some time. Give him a whole football game to figure you out, and you're done. And the Patriots are marching on. Quietly marching on is the best football team in the NFL right now. With players, I couldn't tell you who's on the freaking team, man. I don't know the defense. I don't know the offense, wide receivers. I just know I have what's his name, Julian
Edelman.
because he's on my fantasy team. Other than that, I don't know who the other guy is on the other side.
There isn't much you don't need to know.
He's got
Brandon LaFell. Like, you
Danny
don't-
Bonaducci or something, the other wide receiver.
Gronk.
But Gronk, the thing is, Gronk didn't.
That's it.
Gronk was
catch
silent
ball.
yesterday.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
I just always think he's going to talk like
That's how it would
like
go.
the Hulk.
I saw him in an interview. He's like a puppy dog. Man. He has a low tone voice, but evidently when he gets pumped up, he changes. He's like
Yeah.
that. He's got that Hulk thing going. As soon as he gets a little adrenaline, in him,
Gronk smash.
yeah,
Gronk
he gets,
smash. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
yeah, he gets a little out of hand.
But I think New England has really made themselves the most complete team as of late. They've
Yeah,
been
I mean,
unstoppable the past month or so.
It's call them what they want. They cheat, they don't cheat, whatever it is you want to say. The Patriots are always there.
Mhm.
They don't even know what a bad season is for them.
Even when they lost Brady, they were still there.
And they lost Brady. So, in fact, that quarterback got himself
They got a nice contract off. of it.
contract, and he was out of the league.
No, he's always hanging
Yeah,
on in
saying
Minnesota.
that's
Might as
how-
well be out of the league if you're in Minnesota.
Reminds you of that quarterback for the Miami Dolphins when he took over for Marino that 1 year. Had a great year. Miami went to Detroit.
Fiedler?
She went to
Oh.
Detroit. I forget what the name of his name. I'm going back a while though. That's what
Wow.
happens when you take over for a superstar and have a good year, and you go to another team, you get picked apart because you don't have the same team around you. That just goes to show it's the team, it's not the quarterback that does the work for you. So to me, it's just play out the schedule and let Manning and Brady go at it for the
Yeah.
championship game in the AFC to see who they're going to play on the other side, which I cannot tell you who it's going to
They're
be.
basically just battling out for who gets the home field in that
Yeah,
game.
that's what it is. And I think New England, the way the schedule is, they got a tough one in Green Bay. I'm dying to see that game. I want to see Brady go into Green Bay.
Total game of the week. That's game of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
a
it.
good game.
It's even better than Manning Brady. You know what I mean? At that point, this one is because you want Rodgers is playing so well, and to go into that stadium on that grass and that chaos and that cold
Mhm.
and beat them in there is going to be the that'll tell you if Green Bay's ready to move on.
I think it's not that so much that it is a better matchup, which it kind of is, but I think it's a fresher matchup. Brady and Manning have the great rivalry, but you've seen
Yeah.
them so many times. You
Yeah.
never see Rodgers,
Right.
Brady. That's
Well,
gonna be a good
and
one.
New England gets cold too, so
Yeah,
there's
but
no excuses.
Yeah.
I don't think
All three of
you're
them. I
coming-
think
Well,
Denver,
first of all-
New England,
first of
Green
all,
Bay.
That's one thing. I don't care how cold it is and where you play or where you don't play. I mean, very, very rarely does that come into play. These are football players. They've all played in the cold. They know how to play in the cold. They've been playing cold.
Some
since they
don't.
but they've played
Yeah,
in the cold.
they
Growing
do.
up in college football, you've gone to cold places and played. Okay, I mean, the majority of the NFL guys will tell you, look how cold it is. We play. That's how it is. I mean, they don't put jackets on when they go out there in short sleeves. It's the way it is. The field is what causes the difference in a play, not a player, but the field, being able to play on concrete. When you go to Green Bay in sub-freezing weather, it becomes concrete on that ground. I don't care what kind of turf they have. Unless they got the heated turfs now. I don't know. Green Bay's still grass
I would
over
assume
there.
every place would have that now.
Yeah, I don't know what they have. Look at that. Keep looking at that picture up on our screen of Odell stretching out. Look at him, man. Got that stick him all over that.
You call
glove.
it the catch later, but you can't do that. They already have the catch. You got to call it that. That's the grip.
That's
'Cause he
like,
just
and I see so many things.
gripped.
They got him snagging one of the planes hitting the World Trade Center on the
yeah.
internet.
Oh.
They got him touching God. And
I saw one with the Space Jam
The Space
with
Jam,
the
yeah,
arm
right.
stretched out.
Yep, right. They got him doing all kinds of just marketing that pose right there that we're watching on the screen with the stretch out and stuff like that is like,
That'll be on some kids' walls.
oh yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a logo for something. You're going to take that like the Jordan logo in the basketball. Nike's going to buy something. I'm telling you, don't laugh. Whoever owns those freaking gloves he's wearing, that's going to be that's going to
the
be on top-
logo for them.
Them gloves. There it is, man. Look at it. It's like a swan. If you take that and black it out, it's almost like a bird with wings, flying up or something like that. It's amazing what and that one catch is going to do for this guy. Odell don't have to catch another pass in the NFL. He's going to make a ton of cash on this thing. It's his catch. He owns it.
He had a great game overall too, not just
he
the
did.
catch.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The Giants got what seemed to be an offense is starting to ripen out there a little bit. For the most part.
I don't know what's happened.
That was me.
Is it an earthquake? I got an earthquake in my house. 515.
My big old feet
I got
kicked the
515.
table.
We got an earthquake here, I think. Where's that Vic under the table?
No, he's laying.
Is she over there?
Yeah, she's just
It's
laying.
actually a she. We call her Vic because it worked when we first started calling her names. And I give
She
Vic,
sounds a lot bigger.
Vic the Yorkie. She'll tear you up.
Radio ends. The radio adds 10 pounds.
Don't disrespect. She knows the studio. She knows how to be. She's very. She never barks in here. She
Yeah.
understands when you cross that
That's
threshold.
respect.
That's it. She respects the studio. That's for sure. So, I watched a little hockey this week. That bored me. You know what the NBA?
I'm just not ready for it yet.
Yeah, it's and there's no scoring in hockey. They all of a sudden they stop scoring again.
Everybody.
I'm watching basketball, and I think I'm trying to focus. The Sixers have embarrassed the NBA. They have outright embarrassed the NBA. I mean, college teams could beat this team right now. I mean, I look at the play and I watch them play first half basketball, and the second half they're done. I don't know if they get figured out or there's no talent on that team. But what they're doing, it's not possible. It's possible they might win 1 or 2 games this year. I mean, I'm trying to think who
If you're waiting for somebody to come back from Turkey, is that what I hear?
In 2 years.
Yeah, it's not gonna help.
And I look at OKC too, which they lost. They lost Durant. And they look pathetic too. All of a
And
sudden,
Westbrook, yeah.
all of a sudden, they're a one-player team out of nowhere. Their team was competing for the championship last couple of years.
But that's a lot of things with the NBA too. It's a lot like hockey where you just kind of just bide your time to get to the playoffs. That's why the Spurs, when they were just going like they're resting their starters every fifth game or so, you just kind of just want to hang around, stay healthy, get to the playoffs, and then you turn it on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously not what the Sixers are doing. They're not biding their time. There's no time.
What they're doing in the NBA, and then what they get? What are going to get themselves in the lottery again next year and maybe not get the first pick again?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing about it. You're doing this to get yourself a good draft pick. Meanwhile, you're really not getting. You don't know if you're going to get a good draft pick. And I don't see who's coming out of college this year.
Because college hasn't really started yet, so you don't know.
You know the name. There's always a person coming
There's a
out
couple.
this year. Yeah,
I know
it's not
Moutier is a
right,
big
but
one,
the big name's not there this year.
Mhm.
I don't hear it. I mean,
because I think Moutier didn't. He's not playing college. He went to like China or something like that. He's like the number one guy. He went to China because he wanted to get some money instead of going to college.
well, there you go. It's already a problem. Don't learn the game, just earn the game. That's all. So I can't. I try to watch a bit. I even tried to watch a couple games on TV in the NBA Network, and it's not watchable. Even LeBron and the crew, they're not even playing well. It's like dud basketball. It's not. I watch a little San Antonio, and they're still playing ball, but it's. I can't sit there and watch it. I've lost my whole.
The worst part is with these acquisition of these young players. I feel like it was a tease. It was all the stuff. like, okay, we're going to get somebody who's not going to be able to play for a year. Then we're going to get somebody else who's not going to be able to play for a year and a half, 2 years. He's in Turkey or whatever. I just feel like, okay, I was excited because I thought that they might be doing stuff. And then I realized it's just smoke and mirrors. It's just.
Well, they are doing things. It really is a process. It's not.
It's a
quick
damn
fix.
slow process.
And it's gonna be.
But it doesn't matter. In the NBA, if you don't go slow, you're not going nowhere. If you want to build a team in 2 years, you can't do it.
You can't.
You can't
Unless you're a
gather that talent.
destination.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a superstar on your team that's going to carry you through some games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why when LeBron goes over to Cleveland, it automatically Cleveland's now it's like Brady going to a team as a quarterback. Or now your team all of a sudden, or Manning, you're all of a sudden, you're the Broncos. You got Peyton Manning. Now you're contending. We don't have that player on this team. In fact, we have players who half of them are injured or were injured or coming off injuries. You know, so what the Sixers are doing, obviously, they're buying their time to when the league empties out and they can have a team of players who've been playing together for 5 years and now they can compete like San Antonio. That's what the coach is from San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what they're doing. If you watch what they're doing, and if you watch what San Antonio's done all these years, they build a team that just keeps on winning. They keep adding players. There's a theme to their basketball team. Sixers just got to keep their coach around. You know, a coach can only take so much of this before it becomes a nut. You know, with the losing and stuff like that, you start to lose your players because they don't want to. They got to buy into the system, and that's what the Sixers are building. They're building a system here, much like San Antonio, where they don't care about winning in the next couple of years. It's about what they're going to do in the next 10 years to bring a team that consistently can win and compete here. And once you can compete, you can become like San Antonio, where you can get into the championship every 2 years, every 3 years. But you're getting there. You're competing. You fill in the stadium. You're playing good basketball. And you're a product that people want to see.
That's the thing. What they're doing, you got to give them the one credit is they are each of the past 2 drafts, they have gotten I wouldn't say arguably the best player in the draft. It just so happens that they're hurt, which is why they fall to where they're falling. If both those guys, Noel and Embiid, if they weren't hurt, they wouldn't have been available at the Sixers pick.
Right.
So they're doing like when Blake Griffin got drafted by Cleveland, he didn't play his rookie year. He was hurt. But now here it is 5 years later, and it's the best pick you could have made.
Right.
So maybe in 5 years from now, those two, if they play the way they're supposed to play, you have 2 young, great guys, plus
playing
the Turk,
together,
Turk,
Yeah.
plus Carter Williams, and because they're all rookies,
The
they're
Turk.
making they're all making $3 million. You have so much money to where if you get that young nucleus, you can sign a LeBron, or not LeBron, but you can sign a Chris Paul, you can sign a superstar
Exactly. That's exactly
who's
what
going to want
heading.
to play
Right.
with these
Guys,
young
right.
nucleus. So
But
they
you
are going
can't.
the right way.
You couldn't get LeBron to come here and play. You couldn't get even Kobe to come here and play. They know they're playing with a team that's not going to win, so they might as well stay where they are. But you're exactly right. When that weary veteran who's not done yet but can still play with a mesh of guys who are willing to win and play hard, that's when they're going to grab, and that's the year they'll grab and contend for a championship, 1 or 2 maybe.
I mean, would you rather be would you rather be in the Sixers situation where they are a laughing stock at this point? And they really are. But look at the Lakers and the Knicks. They're not much better, and they have no money. They have no future.
Right, no future. Right. They have become the Sixers where a couple years, 5-10 years ago. They now have to rebuild with the cash.
I'd rather be 0-15 with all the money in the world than 5-10 with no money at all and no future.
The guys running the Sixers, what's his name, Hinkie or whatever?
Yeah.
The guy, they're businessmen. They have a product here, and I hate when they call sports players a product. You know, I hate Howie Roseman when he says, "Well, I like to put the best product on the field." When I continuously yell at him that the Eagle fans don't consider their team product. Okay, we don't need the best product. We were passion. You know, that's what we are. When you say product, you feel like you're selling, tomatoes out there. You got the best tomatoes. Well, the Sixers ownership is about the product. They're about making money, and they're not and the only way they're going to make money is they got to fill them seats. Okay, they got to bring back that Pat Croce crap that they had years ago, where everybody was packing the place and they had winners and there was a lot of fanfare and money being spent and people having a good time. Well, their investment now is going to lead up to that in 5 years. Hopefully, that's what they're planning to do. Unless something goes wrong, injuries.
You never know when the next LeBron will be the one they draft.
I mean, Michael Carter Williams. I mean, he could be a great player down the line once he gets his crew with him. He could be. And you don't want him to leave though too soon. Like they talked about maybe trade him
yeah.
for more draft picks and stuff like that. But he's too young to do that for. He could be one.
You can do that in 2 or 3 years when he's about to be free. But now you still have control of him for 3 years.
Right.
Why would you get rid of him now?
And you know what? And in 3 years, they'll get an idea of where they're at this time. You know, and where they need to be. They don't want to trade him. He's a lure. If he's that good, he gets better. He'll be a lure for that veteran to come over here and play with this team. And then we can stop laughing.
We can stop laughing.
You know, I used to like basketball back in the day, in the Barkley, Irving days back in the. I had season tickets. I used to go all the time when the game was played right. So, you know, and I used to go a little bit down when Iverson there, and then I just stopped because the whole NBA itself it's not an enjoyable event. You know, it's just like there was nothing there. It's like
if you can get the right team and the right star player, it can be fun again. It could be something fun to go watch, but you have to be a winner. It's not fun to go watch.
There's no right in that sport.
Eventually, you start doing what you said about where you're going to see the visitors. You're not going for the Sixers. Right. You're going to go, Oklahoma City's in town. Oh, Cleveland's in town.
Right,
oh,
exactly.
San Antonio's in town. And that's not what you want.
No, not at all. Not in that part. So, do we talk about Manziel? I mean,
you started to, but then we took the call.
I got the phone call. We're talking about Manziel. Do we want to continue on that snapper head or what? We
Why
got
not?
to get a picture of him in here somewhere because he's going to be he's going to be a loads of fun, man.
Make him a Goomba.
Yeah, we're going to have to get him. What do they call one of them things just up on the board?
The fathead.
The fathead. We got to get a fathead Manziel. Get him up on the wall.
He's
here.
a fathead.
Maybe I'll put him on the bob over here, the punching bag, and we'll hang him in the corner here. Every time he messes up, I'll slap him a couple times. You know, he's perfect, and this guy is going to explode eventually. You know why? Because he's bored. He doesn't want to sit on that sidelines. He's not a clipboard carrier, is he? I didn't see him with a clipboard.
He came in his freshman year starting. Right. He's always been playing.
Yeah, he's over there tweeting on the sidelines, I think, or whatever. he's not paying attention to the game. And his quarterback, what's his name, is playing well. Well, he had an okay game the other day, but even after you win the game, they're already starting to say things. Sometimes they want to start a controversy.
Because Hoyer had his worst game of the year. He
Yeah.
threw no touchdowns and 3 picks, but they still got the win though on the
Cleveland's
road.
playing well,
Yeah.
man. They haven't played this
They're
well.
7-4.
I can't remember the last time Cleveland even won 7 games. Let them be 7-4, and the season's not over yet. They're looking at the playoffs possibly, to some source. But
the AFC North is like the anti-NFC South. Every team in AFC North is above 500 and good.
Manziel's going to have to do something to get himself note. He can't be every Sunday goes by and there's no Manziel on the TV, no ESPN, no nothing. He has to have an entourage around him to get some respect because there's no cameras following him. Only when he fucks up, there's cameras following him. Other than that, and then they come after. They're looking at cameras with people's telephones. There's no cameras following him. So he's got nothing going on. He's going to, if he doesn't do something, so he's going to fade away because if he sits for 3 years, who's going to want him? And where is he going to, I knew he wasn't an NFL quarterback.
I mean, someone always would give him chances because he's never had a chance. Eventually, someone's going to give him a chance.
He's in order not to play, in order for them to not want him, he's got to play. And Cleveland's best bet right now is not to let him play at all because, the smart play is this: you ride the winning quarterback, you ride the hot hand, and let him play. If by chance something happens, we still have this guy that we invested so much into.
To do what?
For whatever. But
if it goes bad,
it goes bad. You go to him, and guess what? If he gets thrown in, like we're well past, we're approaching the end of the season almost. And unless they take a nosedive, like you said, they're probably going to have a shot at a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. So let's face it, Manziel ain't getting in for the next 3 games at all, unless they're blowouts. And they probably wouldn't even do that because it's just silly. Because then you're opening yourself up to ridicule. And really, you put Johnny Football in all this crap.
They'll complete one pass and flip off the fans.
Yeah, and they'll be like, and what is with the damn Snickers commercial? Do you see that yet?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're Johnny Football.
I didn't see that. He's got a commercial.
He's got a commercial. Snickers commercial.
He's earning.
That's the way, and you're right. The Cleveland is smart. They're doing their job. They're sticking to the football. You heard the incident over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Did he throw a punch? Did he not throw a punch? Was it on track? It doesn't matter. Cleveland made the right response. We know about the incident. We're looking into it. Mm-hmm. And they don't say any more than that because they know. They're not stupid. They're doing their jobs. Manziel is doing his job by getting into the media, getting a Snickers commercial because he's got nothing. The worst. I mean, you might think of it as the best job in the world, being a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But to somebody like him, it's the worst freaking job. That's like giving, like, I don't know, a kid Ritalin and then like locking him in a room. You know, he's going to run around and crazy. You can't do that. He needs to be the focus of attention. That kind of personality, that person he is. He's just going to go nuts. And he is. And we're seeing it. We're going to start. This will be more. There'll be more of this because you can't. He needs an outlet because
bottle him up for too long.
Exactly. That type of personality needs to be paid attention to. And right now he's not getting his dues, and he will. And he'll be great material for this show.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, you watch any hockey lately?
I said, it was hard.
The Flyers tonight lost to the New York Islanders, one of the highest scoring teams in hockey right now, and we're kicking ass and taking names all over the NHL. 1-0. They lost to the Rangers 2-0 last week, and I think Columbus or something. Did they even score a goal in Columbus? I think they scored 2 goals in Columbus or whatever. But this hockey team is starting to really stink it up now. They can't score and they can't defend. I mean, 1-0 against Islanders is pretty good, but you know, as I'm looking at the screen now, looking at that display, how they did not score a goal against the Islanders, and you know, not scored in 2 games already. I mean, it's getting to be ridiculous over there with the Flyers now. I mean, the highs and lows of this hockey team is starting to get annoying. All right, no one can score goals on this team. I mean, and the one player who is Voracek, he's big deal, man. You know,
Did say it's a shootout too. Went to a shootout.
They lost a shootout, so it was a nothing hockey game against the Islanders
All the way around.
Yeah, I can't. I'm starting to lose. I'm gonna give my tickets away soon.
Well, it's
the freaking Dow Jones of the Flyers. I got tickets everybody wants. They lost 5 in a row now. That's 5 in a row. You can't lose 5 in a row in the NHL. It backs you up too far.
Well, I don't get it. Like, everybody was so excited that Hexy was like, they were happy that
Hexy's he's another clone. Just listen to him talk. He has that same talk. He has that same, it's like you're listening to Clark. It's Clark all right. It's like Clark and
The worst part is
it's a dump and chase. It's a dump and chase voice, I call it. It's like, oh, we gotta play harder, give me something. And then they talk to the press. Hextall doesn't even goof with the press anymore. He doesn't crack a smile or nothing. He has that stone face.
He looks like a person that hates his job right now.
He does. Right? He ain't calling the shots. I don't care what he says. He's not calling the shots.
Exactly. And that was going to be my lead into the thing because, look, you can't say he knows what to do. He's done it before. He's got a proven track record in other places of building winners.
I'm losing my freaking joy for hockey now.
It's true.
Games. It's like Mike said, I'm going to go see the other teams play now because I go to Flyers games now and there's an icing call. Beautiful. Hey, clap for the icing. They get to put the puck in the net. You know what? And hockey's up this year with the scoring. The last couple of weeks have been a little low, but that's the low they have in hockey. It's up and down, but teams are scoring. I mean, they had that run there, that 5-game run where they beat everybody out west, and they come back and they throw this junk at us, man.
It's like they shit the bed. Well, and the worst part is now, like the last couple days, last 3-4 days, all I keep hearing is, that's not the style. There are people still being stupid and thinking that the Broad Street Bullies way of doing things, that style of hockey is relevant anymore.
No, you got to put the puck in the net.
Annoyed. The
only style in hockey is scoring goals and winning games anymore. And once again, what did I see? Another fight the other day. They tee off on each other, slapping their helmets with their fists, and I get so annoyed at that. And it was like it's like the fight was choreographed. It's almost like they came out of the box. They shook hands before they fought. I think on this one almost. It's how ridiculous that stuff's getting. I don't want stage things. I want I'm losing it here. I'm losing it. Sports Goombas, welcome to the show.
Hey, this is Joe from Levittown.
Joe from where?
Levittown.
Levittown. Oh, is that where you're from, Levittown? Well, we have special. We have special. Go ahead.
I called on the show. I heard you talking to Flyers.
Yeah.
And how they can't score.
Okay.
You can solve that problem very easily, my opinion.
What, by scoring?
Giroux and Voracek can't be on the same line.
Right. That's a good point.
The guys who score, Shen and Simmons, are on the same line.
Right.
You need to split them up. You can score points. You can't have 2 guys that just pass. Nobody should fuck.
So
and I'm not the biggest Bobby Clark advocate, but You got to shoot the puck to win games.
Sure. Exactly, and you have to hit the net too. You can't hit the glass and the Sunoco sign behind. The shot's got to be on goal too, and you can't have.
I mean, I don't care if they put the puck anywhere in there as long as it's going towards the goalie. They just pitch left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. Nothing going towards the goalie. Nothing north to south.
That's exactly right. And I see too many, and Giroux's guilty of this too. Too many shots hitting the goalies in the chest. Quality shots. I don't want to see shots on goal that don't have a chance of getting through. And that's what I'm seeing a lot with this team.
The problem with that is it doesn't make a good hot. Everybody wants to beat the guy at the glove side. If you put it down, and I played hockey younger. I'm sure a lot of it. Your goal is to get in front of the goalie and tip something. As a forward or a center, you get up there. You can't do that when the puck shot up high and at your face or at even chest level because you're going to get called for high sticking. You got to keep it lower.
Yeah. Well, but at the same time, it does work. It does work when you got a guy like, we'll just say Antoni Niemi. When you shoot at him, first thing he does is Dom Mikasik. He drops to his knees.
Right.
You elevate the puck on him. When you're going against Lundqvist, who stays on his feet, you got to put the puck low. Up over his shoulder. You gotta force it somewhere, Some guys give an open shot. Some guys drop right to their knees and you gotta put it over them.
Right.
The guys in our division, they don't do that. They stand on their feet.
Right. It's like
Fleury. Just in the East, we got Fleury, we got Lundqvist. They don't move. They're like brick walls. You gotta put the puck through them. You can't put the puck around.
Exactly.
You gotta go and tackle.
Yeah. I mean, and you watch Mason and Emmerich both. They're always on their knees in front of that net. They're always down, always crawling from side to side on that. I don't know if I like that or not, but I guess it's working for them because, the Flyers aren't letting a lot of goals in. I mean, lately they haven't, but the problem is they're not scoring themselves. And you're right. I can't remember the last time the Flyers had 3 decent lines out there. I got to go back to the 90s, to see 3 decent lines.
But that's the thing, though. They have potential to put decent lines together. They just say, okay, well, these are our 2 best players, so we're going to put the 2 best players together. But that doesn't always work.
Right, because they're looking for the goal.
And when you look at Pittsburgh, Malkin and Crosby never play on the same line.
Right.
Unless they're desperate, they never play on the same line.
Power play
or a power play, yeah. And even then, though, they're split up.
Yeah. Exactly. You're exactly right.
You can't put your best 2 players on a line. It's not like when you're like in the Flyers when they had Lindros and LeClaire. They're the 2 best players, but they play 2 different ways. One beat up the goalie and put the ball on, put the puck on the net, and the other one passed and shot. With 2 different players, 2 of your best players. When they play the same spot, you can't have that.
Yeah, well, you're going back. When you go back that far, the type of style of play there is. The one thing I've always said, the Flyers just do not have speed. I don't see the speed anymore on this team. Even on the rush up the ice, I just don't see it. They're always getting caught. Or what's that?
They're sleeping.
Yeah, they're getting caught. They're getting caught on defense, and when they do the offensive rush too, it's almost like their breakaways. They're 3-on-2s. They fall apart when they get to the goal. It's almost like they overpass or the passing on this team is not crisp. Now, they did go for that West Coast turn out there a couple weeks back, a month ago, where they were playing like Chicago and Vancouver and Anaheim, where you could hear the crisp passing, the slap of the stick. Passes on. They were clicking for a while there, and when you click like that, you get the open shot.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, no, I agree. I just think this team's. I don't think the coach is right.
Right.
I think Hextall coming in being hard nosed is something different that they haven't had in a while. That could be good. He should have came in. He should have fired the guy and put somebody he wanted in the spot. That happens in football. That happens in just about any other spot. Anytime you get a new general manager, there's normally a new coach following right behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't
need to make changes.
I don't think the Chief is going to be the coach of this team for too many more years. I think he gets through this year. I mean, they got to have. God, it's almost like I want the veteran guy back in here. I want someone who can take the talent and sort it out right on the ice. I think the trial and error of the coach now they have, it's not, it's not for this team. I mean, you got, Claude Giroux is underachieving for sure. I think, for the big deal they made out of him 2 years ago. Face of the league almost when they had that playoff run. I mean, I don't see that now.
I took a lot of heat for saying trade him while he had the value.
Yeah, well, they can't trade their best player. That's what the Flyers don't do that. They trade their up-and-coming players is what they do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's true. Well, I mean, they did trade their best player. They did it a couple of years ago. They traded Carter and Richards for their best player.
And now,
don't get me wrong. Everybody hates Carter and Richards. Everybody I know is hates Carter and Richards.
The party boys.
Stanley Cups when they left.
I didn't hate them. I was pissed off. I was pissed off when they left. That's when I was going down there a lot when the two of them were playing hockey here. I didn't care about what they did off the ice. I don't pay to see them drink at bars. I pay to see them score goals. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, that's
I'm the same way. I don't care what they're doing. Like,
yeah.
For example, if Brady Moss was in his prime, I would love to have him here in Philadelphia because I don't care if he's out there smoking dope. I don't care if he's out there getting in trouble. We brought him here to, play wide receiver, be the best ever. You know? And that same thing we did with Carter, Richards, Justin Williams, all them guys we got rid of because they were all head cases. I don't care whether they're head cases. I mean, play hockey. You don't
listen,
play.
Joe, you got to be a head case to play NHL hockey. First of all, let's get that out of the way. You got to be. It's like playing football. You got to be something wrong with you to be able to take that kind of beating. So, in general, being a head case in the NHL is probably helping him. Whatever he's drinking is getting him through the day, more or less. I mean, I never saw a sport in my life where guys get 35 stitches in their freaking face and come back out and play. Most human beings are in bed for 3 weeks after that.
Yeah, the guy died last year and they defibbed him. He wanted to go back in the game. Come on,
listen,
this is a sport.
Listen, NFL players don't get chopped up like that and come back and play. Okay, and so hockey players do. I mean, it's insane what they do.
They're nuts. They're hockey players.
Exactly.
Flat out nuts.
So when you have a player who goes outside the lines a little bit, or wants to relieve himself, of the pressure he's on by going out and being a party boy, as long as he's coming back to the team and playing that day. Now I know Carter wasn't that bad, but what's his name, man? Richard was coming back a little hungover now and then, but who cares? The guy's carried 2 Stanley Cups already. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean?
But not here, and that's
right. Yeah, right.
That not here.
Yeah, so
I mean, they could have won one here. Who knows?
Yeah, they came close.
If I can, I want to step back a little bit. You guys talked about basketball a little bit.
Yeah.
I heard you bring up like the Barkley error, the Dr. J error.
Yeah.
You got all that kind of stuff. Basketball now is centered around one player can take you to the finals.
Correct.
And that's the problem. The Sixers don't have that it factor, but they have a bunch of little. Like today's basketball can't be compared to the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s, you needed a team to win the game.
Right.
Just like any other sport, you need a team. Yes, Peyton Manning's going to be able to win you games in football, but he's only going to be able to do it for so long. He needs a defense. He needs people around him. And basketball today, that one guy can take you to the promised land because they don't play like a team. They just say, okay, we got to give this guy the ball. We need to go back. The Sixers, I think, with the core they have now, they do fine. They got to play together.
Right.
They can't just go out there. And honestly, to me, I think it seems like they play hard for 3 quarters, and they just go out there and say, hey, look, we're going to pay you not to play the 4th quarter so we can get a better draft.
Doesn't it seem like that?
Honestly, it seems like they're tanking the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I was just saying a little while ago.
Every game I do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, I watched the first half, and it's like they compete. And then all of a sudden, the 4th quarter, it falls apart. Like they run out of energy or the will to play, or they just, I don't know what it is.
They're all like 22. How can you run out of energy?
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why Joe has a point, man.
Yeah.
Someone's like, you're going to tank a season. You got to win a couple games. You're going to look like a complete moron. There's a way to fix things around here, I
don't 100% agree with what he said originally. Because the Spurs, Duncan's a superstar, but he's not like a game-changing superstar. He was a superstar.
Yeah.
The Spurs were a team. That was a team.
Right.
And even when the Heat were winning, they were a 3-man team.
3-man team, right?
But you can't win with one. You need multiple.
Right. LeBron James.
No, I didn't say you can win with one. I said you can get there with one.
Yeah.
You can definitely get there with one guy. I mean, you can get real close with one guy.
Right.
You can Durant. I mean, LeBron. The Spurs are the only team right now that can make it in the 90s and 80s style basketball.
Right.
Nobody else can. They don't play like a team. They don't play defense. The Spurs do it all. They play defense. They play like a team. All right, if I don't got it this game, well, this guy's gonna get it. Because if I'm not doing well, if Ginobili's not doing well, Duncan's gonna can pick it up. And this guy can pick it up, and Parker can pick it up, and whoever else. They have guys that nobody's even heard of.
The MVP, the Finals MVP.
Last year.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, right. I don't know who he was.
I mean, a basketball fan was gonna know him, but the average person,
Yeah,
we'll say I have no idea who that
I
is.
was like watching the playoffs last year. Where did this guy come from? You know, how is he an MVP of anything?
Yeah.
I don't even know his name. You know, I was saying before that the Sixers are building themselves like San Antonio. That's what they're trying to do here. You know,
you got a great guy right behind it. Brown.
Yep.
It came from that system. That's
Right.
the system they've been
Saw it all
instilling
firsthand.
Since,
Yep.
You know, David Robinson. Since they took David Robinson in 1990.
right.
A long time ago.
Yep, that's
88, I
that's
think.
how long that San Antonio run's been. 14 years, 15 years almost, because they, you know, Duncan's been around 14 years, I believe, right? He's got
He was a year
Maybe
after
longer.
Iverson.
Maybe
yeah.
it was 80.
Yeah.
87, something like that.
yeah, he had they got you know, Robinson went 4 years to the Navy.
Yeah, he didn't come right in.
He came in after 4 years. Here's the thing though, what's Duncan got? He has 6 rings or 5? He has 5 rings, but he's been in 7 championships. 7. He's been in 7. That's what you call it? That's biblical in the NBA. You're talking about Bill Russell kind of shit with that stuff. You know what I mean? That's where he's at.
And he didn't just lump it all in a hot streak. He did it in the 90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s, late 2000s, teens. Like they've always been
I
relevant.
think were they in '89?
Who?
The San Antonio?
What about not
San
Duncan?
Antonio.
Yeah.
San Antonio drafted.
I mean, not 89. I mean,
99.
99 they were
The
in,
strike
right?
year.
Yeah.
They won.
So he's been in 3 decades. He's
Yeah.
been an NBA
He's won a champion.
champion.
He's won a champion in
Yeah,
3
right.
different decades.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 90, 99, right. Exactly. So that's the model NBA team. You know, they got the coach, they play the game right, they use all their players. There's there was never really one superstar on that team.
He was the one he won rings with 2 completely different
Teams,
cores.
right,
He
right.
won with Robinson and Sean Elliott and,
Right.
and Avery
Jeez,
Johnson.
I forgot about Sean Elliott.
Yeah, and Avery Johnson, and then he does it again with these guys now. It's
Yeah,
2
Parker
completely,
and
2 completely separate teams.
Yep. And when he wins the title, you don't take on the fanfare, Duncan. He sits there and he enjoys the moment, doesn't ask for more money, goes home to his family, and he's underrated for the superstar that he is. Okay, because he's not flamboyant, he's not out there, he's not appearing on shows, or did appear on Letterman a little while
How many
ago.
little kids out there are wearing their Duncan shoes?
Nobody.
No one.
Duncan, he wears pro kids.
Like,
What's that, Joe?
my other thing too is Tim Duncan is like maybe one of the best basketball players to ever play the game.
Absolutely.
He's never, ever going to be brought up. He's never going to be in the Jordan, the Kobe,
No.
the Shaq.
Not on
He's
individual
better
level.
than Shaq. You know, he's more consistent than all these. He might not be more consistent than all these guys, but he's not flashy. He's not.
Right.
You know, when
So I
people think of greatest of all time, they think of Wilt Chamberlain as 100-point game.
Right.
They think of, you know, Michael Jordan as, you know,
Kobe
3-point.
in his 81.
Dunking from the 3-point line, trying to dunk from the 3-point line. And then Kobe Bryant just shooting all the time.
Right.
And Tim Duncan doesn't do all that. He rebounds. He scores points.
He passes,
Whatever
banks
for
it
him
in.
to win is what he does.
You know, he'll get his due, Joe, when he gets put in the Hall of Fame. When he gets put in the Hall of Fame and they read off all his
accolades,
accomplishments like that, and you know, and then they'll finally realize who's going in the Hall of Fame like that. And you know what it is? He's a lot like Peyton Manning. He's going in there clean so far. You can't find anything on this guy. You don't know who his wife and kids are. You don't know what he does. You know what I mean? He just keeps his whole personal life out of his professional career.
With him being in the league for what, over
15 years.
more than that, maybe more than that. But I'm saying
Yeah.
because he's been in since 97, it's like
Right.
17 years.
17 years.
Yeah, he
Can you
finished in
name-
97.
can
Well, I
you
mean, if
name-
look, I'm just looking at a couple things here. He's a 5-time champion,
Yep.
3-time Finals MVP. He's a 2-time MVP, 14-time All-Star. You know,
And that goes along with my point. Is you
he's
can
an
read off.
All-Star game MVP. I mean, the dude's he's phenomenal. 8-time All-Defensive First Team, Rookie of the Year. I mean, this guy's got he's probably got more.
That's it.
on
I'm buying his
than
shoes.
half
But the thing
guys
is,
in comparison.
my point is you can read off all these things about him on the court. In 17 years, can you name one story about Tim Duncan off the court?
Nope.
One.
I'm just gonna
In
say.
that 17 years, you can't name one thing he's ever done off
And
the
you know
court.
what? That's precisely why he is who he is, because He didn't get caught gambling. He didn't get caught drinking. He's not
He didn't cheat,
womanizing.
yeah.
He's not cheating. He's not smoking
Doing
dope.
drugs.
Yeah, right. His kids aren't getting in trouble. His wife's not getting in trouble. You know, he doesn't do anything. So that's not juicy enough for the papers and what goes on in this world now. You know, it's all about what you can do. It's like B said before, they're trying to sell papers or to sell time, or you got to have a story. You know?
That goes along with what you guys were pretty much just saying, you know, when I called in. You were talking Johnny, and right before that, I was talking Johnny Manziel.
Right.
Johnny Manziel's doing nothing. He's rotting, in his eyes, he's rotting away. So what's he going to do? He's going to get in a fight at a hotel room to keep his name and thing. He's going to do a stupid Snickers commercial to keep his name on TV.
He's going to put up Instagram pictures of him and supermodels.
That dude right now is sitting on the bench and reading plays,
Right.
reading the clipboard,
Right.
and learning the game.
Exactly.
When he
So-
wants to live
That's
the
best
place.
thing for him.
Yeah, that's the best thing. If he
It is the
did
best
that,
thing for him. Yeah.
because you know what? And then when he gets a chance to maybe go to another team, he'll be prepared. Right now, you know,
I don't think he's going to go to another team. I mean,
Eventually will.
I mean, if I'm sitting there, I'm the general manager, I'm the owner. Hoyer's winning games, but he's not the answer. Hoyer is like he's a game manager. He's not going to. You know, we'll see what happens with him. I'd give him a couple more games and see what him and Gordon do. But if they're not going to make the playoffs by the end of this next 2 games, I would say I'd give Manziel a shot at the second half. I mean, you owe nothing right now.
That's what I said.
Right now, going in the next,
not a player.
right now, your quarterback, the only quarterback on your roster right now is Manziel. Are you going to sign Hoyer? Is he going to want some ridiculous money?
Yep.
Probably.
Oh,
You know?
you make a good point, because if they're not gonna, if it goes south, like I was saying earlier, you need to know what you have. You need to know if there's anything playable, malleable. You can mold them into something. If not, you're. And let's face it, they're gonna know, right? I might not know. He might not know. Cash, he does know, but they're going to sit there. They're going to take this guy and they're going to throw him into 3-4 games at the end of the season, if that's what it comes down to, just to see what he can do. And they're going to know right away that this is a guy that doesn't do his homework. He doesn't do it. And maybe they get stuck with with their starting quarterback now and just have to work around it or draft somebody else later on.
I don't think 2014 is the year for that.
Because you sit with, you look at some of these guys, some of these guys haven't sit behind guys long enough. I mean, Brady didn't sit behind Drew Bledsoe too long. He just hopped in and did it. But Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I'm using bad analogies here because Brian Hoyer is never going to be Brett Favre. But these guys need to sit behind somebody, learn the game. College is not the game of the pros. College is just a stat. It's just how good my stats are. I mean, really, what quarterbacks come out of college that won Heisman's and were the best quarterbacks that are actually good in the NFL?
Not many.
You can name on one hand in the last 10 years, right? And one of them's playing right now. So that's the deal.
I mean, and even if you look at it, like, and this is since he's a Heisman Trophy winner. One Heisman Trophy winner in like the last 20 years has won a playoff game.
Yeah.
The guy who won that playoff game is not even in football right now.
Right.
Carson?
Carson.
You know? And that guy is Tim Tebow. And this is
right. I forgot about that.
Forgot about him.
If he doesn't make out, like, I honestly think Manziel's going to be more like Tebow. He's going to be in the game, win a couple games, and then be pushed out of the NFL.
Yeah. Because he's not an NFL quarterback. He's just not. He's not. He's a college quarterback, and there's so many of them come out. I mean, Vic was a college quarterback. This is that's what happens in the NFL. These guys they play like that. I mean,
Vic was such an elite athlete.
Yeah, right, and
he got by on that.
Right, for the most part. Hey, Joe, appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in. Some good stuff, man. Appreciate it.
See you, Joe.
No problem.
You got it, man. Thanks. Good call by Joe. Getting it done. I just had the verdict come in from Ferguson. No indictment for the police officer there. I hope they stay cool here. I hope they still cool in all the big cities right now, man. I hate to see what's going on, turning over some cars over there in Ferguson.
Doesn't look like it's cool, judging by all.
But they've been turning cars in there for like 2 months now.
It's going to get nuts, man. What a world. What are you going to do? Hey, look, the Pope's coming to Philly soon, so, rejoice. What's that, next year? Yep. I like this guy, the Pope. He's all right, man. He's like a rock star. He's coming in there. I bet you guaranteed to have him Pat Steaks for sure. Gonna give him Pat Steaks. It'll be Pats and Geno's. Have to go to both,
because the Pope plays no favorites.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't.
Plays no favorite. Yeah,
he doesn't. But hey, it's
What's he coming in
I'm not
summertime?
gonna-
He's definitely going to throw the first pitch out of the Phillies game, I think.
He can't throw a ball. He can't throw a
This
ball.
guy
you
can
don't
throw a
know.
ball.
I mean, this apparently he's hip. He's
He's the hip hop.
he,
he's-
well. I mean, think about it. All the stuff, all the changes. He's like he's if somebody doesn't contradict or whatever, he's gonna try to make changes. He's like a lot of people love this guy, and especially he's the first pope outside of like Europe in years. He's from South America, beloved down there. I mean, he helped a lot of people in South America apparently as bishop or cardinal or whatever the heck he did down there. Very modest guy, and he's very progressive forward.
We might get him on the show. He'll call in.
Yeah.
I get a call in. We'll talk some Phillies with him, whatever that kind
Is he
of stuff.
shooting hoops with Barack?
Listen, it's going to be a great great thing for Philly because it'll be
Money.
all the cash will be flowing. Everybody's positioning for that. It's going to be.
It
What
won't
is it?
matter.
It's next summer, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't even know. I got to
it won't-
update myself on this stuff.
It won't matter because it won't matter what religion or who you are. It's basically a big appearance by a superstar. Basically, if you look at it, and whether or not you believe in it or not, it's somebody of
Wait a
prominence.
minute. Wait, it's not about superstars. It's another cat with a reason. Come on.
I'm just telling you, yeah, but it's like superstar status is what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he is.
Listen, all I want to do is get a selfie with the dude. That's it. That's all I want. I get my selfie.
Your Pope selfie.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank our sponsors, Apple Public Adjusters, Seal Roofing, and M. Resnick Plumbing, Sir Dustless, Larry Gilman, Biz, and all the other crew, and everybody for joining us in the Sports Goombas podcast. What do we call this show? It's a podcast. What I got going
I
here?
think we're
Web
officially.
You know what? It's a freaking TV show, man.
It's a web
okay?
show.
A web show. You got a screen and we're live video. It's a TV show.
As you say that, I'm looking at the screen and they show a burning car. They're not keeping their cool. in
Yeah, they're
Missouri.
not keeping it cool.
Yeah, that's good press. I'm Cassidy King. Got the chef to the left. I got Mikey Wall on my right. This is Sports Goombas. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Second.